This is the Leaperkin Patton S. The lighter and slightly more budget-friendly sequel to the original 16-inch Wonder Wheel that had kicked off Leaperkin's higher voltage aspiration. And in my last review, I was thoroughly blown away by its torque and speed.
I love you! I love you!
But 2 years later, with a new crop of ever higher voltage, faster, more powerful 18-inch wheel, is there still a place for what some may consider to be an older wheel with just a minor refresh? This week, I'm gonna ride the Patton S and attempt to answer this question and tell you what I think of the latest Leaperkin release Patton S. Roll the intro. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and help spread the uni gospel. First, a quick shout out to Jason at eWheel for sending me this Leaperkin Patton S for review purposes, but as usual, opinion expressed are strictly my own. Higher voltage have come to define ever greater performances in the electric unicycle world. Yes, better tuning can achieve greater efficiencies and pull ever more power out of the same motor and battery voltage combinations, but it pale in comparison to the performance gain from stepping up to the next voltage threshold, a universal truth that even the brilliant engineers at Leaperkin have followed, and over the last 2 years they have steadily released ever higher voltage electric unicycles, which make it somewhat of a surprise to see them stepping back down to a 126 volt wheel. But the question is, are higher voltage and speed really necessary for a 16-inch electric unicycle that already had more torque and power than most rider can ever leverage? Which brings us to my review of the Patton S, and as usual, I'm going to evaluate this wheel based on 5 different criteria, and they are design, convenience, ride quality, performance, and finally value, all on a score of 1 to 5. Starting with design. Over the past few years, the Leaperkin look has mostly matured, unlike their competitors, who often still release wheels that bear very little resemblance to their brothers and sisters.
I see the resemblance.
Leaperkin Electric Unicycle had adopted a Russian nesting doll design philosophy, and seeing how well they generally sell, why mess with the good thing? Despite the similar specification, having assembled both versions, I can confidently say that the Patton S was a ground-up redesign and improved on the assembly, durability, and aesthetic in subtle but important ways. Gone are the squarish profile and its many pokey corners, and instead you get radius and ergonomic uppers that better conform to your more sensitive bends. And Patton S also inherited the same bumpers, toe clips, and even the headlight from its larger cousin, the Lynx, and for the most part looked like a shrunken down version of it. And despite my earlier skepticism from how little things had actually changed, I cannot help but admire a consistent design language, one which draws inspiration from practicality and robustness. I have long complained about the bleeding-edge experimental nature of electric unicycle, and the Patton S is proof that we have finally evolved past the garage-built hobbyist-grade prototype stage of electric unicycle market. For its many minor but important improvements, the Patton S earns a 4.5 out of 5 for design. Next, convenience has always been a strong point for 16-inch wheels, simply because of their more compact size and lighter weight. Electric unicycles in general are smaller than just about any other form of transport. However, the 16-inch form factor offers a particularly sweet combination of size versus performance. This is a wheel that you can pull 50 miles per
mph speed run out of, but yet still remain no larger than an airline-compliant carry-on luggage.
And it is also here where the biggest change took place. The Patton S had gone on the same magnesium alloy diet and shed 6.5 pounds off of its waistline,
which makes it easier to carry up and down stairs and over your tailgate when needed. And at 80 pounds, it is still no lightweight, but a step in the right direction and a much needed improvement.
The rest of the convenience feature pretty much mirror all the other modern Leaperkin wheels.
Both IP waterproof and UL rating are under review, but will hopefully be completed by the time the patent ships. And with those certifications, peace of mind knowing that your expensive toy won't melt in the rain nor spontaneously combust. It also shared the same functional but somewhat average headlight from the Lynx and a similarly usable and well-balanced trolley handle, kickstand, and mudguard combo.
The LCD screen remained exactly the same as the original Sherman, which I guess is fine. Finally, my compliment to Leaperkin for shipping a smaller charging block as compared to some other company.
In another word, the Patton S offer all the expected usability features, but brings nothing new to the table, and it is still missing a quick wheel swap option, so it earns a 3.5 out of 5 for convenience.
As to ride quality, I'm gonna start by asking every other EUC companies, can you please copy the toe clip design from Leaperkin? It is, in my opinion, superior to other Velcro options. Being mechanically fastened to the wheel means that you can put all your weight on it without it ever shifting. Not only more comforting, inspiring, but also allow for greater precision control, which let you fully appreciate the lightness and agility of this wheel.
Lesser wheel momentum, smaller contact patch, and lighter weight usually translate to greater turn on a dime responsiveness for 16-inch electric unicycle, a prize feature for tricky off-road rides but also useful for day-to-day commute and navigating annoying traffic jams. And the Patton S, with its reduced weight and stiffer construction, cranked the sense of immediacy all the way up to 11.
The Fast Ace oil hydraulic coil progressive shocks still offer the best-in-class suspension,
delivering a butter-smooth ride through even the worst terrain, and will happily take the sharpness out of gnarliest of bumps.
Which is no longer even a surprise to anyone, I think, at this point. If you want the best-in-class suspension performance, you pay the premium to get a Leaperkin wheel.
You can tune a lever arm-based suspension design for either the V14 or the Extreme with better off-the-shelf shocks, and maybe even swapped out the arm for better geometry, but the Patton S worked right out of the box, predictably and with very little drama.
Of course, the physical limitation that comes with a smaller diameter wheel is, doesn't matter what you do, speed above 50 miles per hour will always feels like attempting to balance on a knife edge seconds away from disasters.
But as a compact, agile, and smooth riding wheel, the Patton S further refined its winning formula and keep its score of 5 out of 5 for ride quality.
Now, I also gave the original Patton a 5 out of 5 for performance. However, 2 years onward, the Patton S is no longer a top dog when it comes to the performance food chain. We have moved past 126 volt, 151 volt, and now on to 168 volt with significantly more speed, power, and torque, and the added bonus of being able to power larger diameter 18-20 inch wheel, offering larger contact patch and greater stability.
But I have to confess that most of the advantage offered by the more powerful and higher voltage wheels mostly only come into play at speed that an average sensible person would consider to be completely insane.
but given its inherent instability at speed, an unavoidable reality of the reduced gyro stabilization force of a lighter and smaller diameter wheel with lesser momentum, I'm not quite sure if it even makes sense to attempt to mate a higher voltage electrical system to the Patton S.
Since even at 126 volt, this wheel can accelerate easily up to insane speed just as quickly as more powerful wheel like the Lynx. And yes, the higher voltage electric unicycle will leave it behind beyond 45 miles per hour plus speed, but that is a limitation that comes with the smaller form factor of the Patton S.
It is, however, not the only instances where power and torque comes into play.
Extreme off-road hill climb is another situation when you can't have too much torque. Well, slight correction, as much torque as you can get without losing traction from your single tiny contact patch. For the most part, even at 126 volt and 3000 watt, you will have more than enough power to overcome any reasonably steep hill you'll encounter.
But at this point, it feels like I'm just coming up with excuses for the lack of change that Leaperkin had done to the Patton S. So it earns a 3.5 out of 5 for performance. But aside from male body part measurement contests, which is what chasing the latest and greatest specification really is equivalent to, this is still a second generation Leaperkin electric unicycle that has been refreshed and polished to a fine sheen by some of the best engineers in the business. It is a well-built and improved version of the original Patton, which almost earned a perfect score in my previous review, and now comes at a slight discount as compared to the original, with whatever premium you had to pay for the Leaperkin brand likely offset by their usually better resale value. The Patton S earns a 4.5 out of 5 for value.
Is the Patton the perfect 16-inch EUC you've been waiting for, or is it reheated leftover from the 126 volt era? Well, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And you know what? Once again, I ramble on too long and somehow managed to waste another 15 minutes of your life, but I hope you enjoyed it. Shout out to my supporter on Patreon. Please check out the link in the video description below if you enjoy and like to support my work. And as always, as much as we all love electric unicycle, the only way for us to get better wheel is to grow as a community. So tell your friend, teach them how to ride and get them hooked. Until the next video, thank you.